The human brain is the most complex organ in the body, with over 100 billion neurons. The brain is responsible for all cognitive, sensory, and motor functions of the body. The brain accounts for about 2% of the body's weight but uses about 20% of the body's energy. The brain is divided into three main parts: the cerebrum, cerebellum, and brainstem. The cerebrum is responsible for higher cognitive functions such as language, thought, and memory. The cerebellum controls movement and balance. The brainstem controls vital functions such as breathing and heart rate. The human brain is capable of storing massive amounts of information, with estimates ranging from 1 to 1,000 terabytes. The brain has the ability to reorganize and adapt in response to new experiences, a process known as neuroplasticity. The brain communicates with the rest of the body through a network of nerves and chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. The brain can process information at a speed of up to 120 meters per second. The brain is protected by the skull and cushioned by cerebrospinal fluid, which helps to absorb shock. The brain is highly susceptible to damage from injury or disease, which can lead to a range of cognitive and physical impairments. The brain contains specialized cells called glial cells that support and protect neurons. The brain is involved in the regulation of emotions, with certain areas of the brain being associated with different emotions. The brain produces a wide range of hormones and neurotransmitters that influence mood, behavior, and physical function. The brain is affected by a variety of environmental factors such as diet, exercise, and exposure to toxins. The brain continues to develop and change throughout childhood and adolescence, with the prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making, maturing last. The human brain is unique in its capacity for language, abstract thought, and complex problem-solving. The study of the human brain is a rapidly evolving field, with new discoveries and insights being made all the time. The human brain is capable of producing new neurons throughout a person's life, a process known as neurogenesis. The brain is responsible for the regulation of the body's circadian rhythms, which control the sleep-wake cycle. The brain is involved in the perception of pain, with different regions of the brain processing different aspects of pain sensation. The brain's reward system is involved in the experience of pleasure and the formation of habits and addictions. The brain is responsible for the formation and retrieval of memories, with different regions of the brain playing a role in different types of memory. The brain's ability to process information declines with age, leading to cognitive decline in older adults. The human brain is capable of recognizing faces and processing facial expressions, with certain regions of the brain specialized for this function. The brain's language centers are typically located in the left hemisphere, with the right hemisphere being involved in other aspects of language processing such as intonation and prosody. The brain is affected by stress, with chronic stress being linked to a range of physical and mental health problems. The brain is involved in the regulation of appetite and metabolism, with certain hormones and neurotransmitters playing a key role in these processes. The brain's visual processing centers are capable of filling in missing information, allowing people to perceive a complete picture even when parts of it are obscured. The brain is involved in the regulation of mood and emotions, with certain neurotransmitters such as serotonin and dopamine playing a key role in these processes. The brain's executive function, which includes skills such as decision-making, planning, and problem-solving, can be impaired by a variety of factors such as stress, sleep deprivation, and certain medications. The brain's prefrontal cortex is involved in the regulation of impulse control and decision-making, and is not fully developed until a person's mid-20s. The brain's auditory processing centers are involved in the perception of sound, with different regions of the brain processing different aspects of sound such as pitch, volume, and timbre. The brain's motor cortex is involved in the control of movement, with different regions of the motor cortex controlling different parts of the body. The brain's parietal lobe is involved in the perception of spatial relationships and body position, and plays a role in the ability to navigate through the environment. The brain's temporal lobe is involved in the perception of sound and language, and plays a role in memory formation and retrieval. The brain's frontal lobe is involved in the regulation of attention and impulse control, and plays a role in social behavior and decision-making. The brain is influenced by a range of genetic, environmental, and lifestyle factors, and its development and function can be altered by experiences throughout a person's life. The brain's white matter is made up of myelinated axons, which allow for rapid communication between different parts of the brain. The brain's gray matter is made up of neurons and glial cells, which process and integrate information. The brain's thalamus acts as a relay station for sensory information, directing it to the appropriate regions of the brain for processing. The brain's hypothalamus is involved in the regulation of the body's internal environment, including hunger, thirst, body temperature, and hormone release. The brain's amygdala is involved in the processing of emotions, particularly fear and anxiety. The brain's hippocampus is involved in the formation and retrieval of memories, particularly episodic memories. The brain's basal ganglia are involved in the regulation of voluntary movement, as well as habits and reward-based learning. The brain's cerebellum is involved in the coordination and fine-tuning of movement, as well as balance and posture. The brain's corpus callosum is a bundle of fibers that connects the two hemispheres of the brain, allowing for communication and coordination between them. The brain's ventricles are fluid-filled spaces that help to cushion and protect the brain, as well as circulate cerebrospinal fluid. The brain's reticular formation is involved in the regulation of wakefulness and arousal. The brain's medulla oblongata is involved in the regulation of vital functions such as breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure. The brain's pons is involved in the regulation of sleep and arousal, as well as the coordination of movement and balance. The brain's frontal lobe is involved in the regulation of personality, social behavior, and decision-making. The brain's parietal lobe is involved in the integration of sensory information from multiple sources, as well as spatial awareness and attention. The brain's temporal lobe is involved in the processing of auditory and visual information, as well as language comprehension and memory formation. The brain's occipital lobe is involved in the processing of visual information, including color, shape, and motion. The brain's Broca's area is involved in the production of language, while Wernicke's area is involved in language comprehension. The brain's cerebrum is divided into two hemispheres, with each hemisphere being specialized for certain functions such as language, spatial reasoning, and motor control. The brain's plasticity allows it to adapt and reorganize in response to injury, disease, or changes in the environment, allowing for recovery and rehabilitation.